today what I'm going to show you how to make is these little monograms. Monogramming is a really big thing right now. I went on Etsy and just searched for monogram SVG, and I got just thousands and thousands of them. Just different little shapes with the little hearts cut out of them that you can put your monograms in. So I'm going to teach you how to make these today. The first thing you would need to do is get the actual monogram. I do mine with the Monogram It app on my iPhone. I'm 99% sure it's available on Android too. But you go on Monogram It and make your monogram, and then what I do is email it to myself. There's like a little export button at the bottom, and you email it to yourself, download it, and then import it. I'm in Inkscape, going to import my monograms. I made a couple of them for this. Made 2 of them, so we're going to bring in, I don't know if I can bring them both in at once now. So I made one with, I'm pretty sure that's Vine, and then this is the standard one. I know this is free, so we're going to bring these in, import, and then I'll bring in the other one too while I'm here. Import. So I have my 2 monograms. We will deal with those in a minute. But, so then the next thing you need is your shape that you're going to make a monogram out of. So a common one that I see around a lot is an anchor. So we're going to search for an anchor image to make a monogram out of. Whenever I'm looking for images for cut files, always start your search with clip art. Otherwise you'll get like realistic images, and that's definitely not what you're going to want for this. So we're going to do clip art anchor. And then you can pick any style that you want. You can find one with the heart top or the circle top or the Mickey head top or whatever. So just pick an anchor. We're going to pick this one. Copy it. We're going to go back over to Inkscape and paste it in. So now we're going to make this bigger. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. If you hold the control button and then scroll with your wheel on your mouse, it'll zoom you in. So now this is just a flat image. It's like a JPEG or something to that effect, a GIF file. You can see it has a background and everything. We're going to trace this. Go to Path, Trace Bitmap. This will make it into a vector file so that it can be cut. We're going to leave colors on, so it'll maintain whatever color the image has now. We turn smooth off. If it's a really complicated file and smooth is on, it'll oversimplify all the cut points and make it all mushy looking. And always check remove background so that you don't have that white background behind it. I only need 2 scans because it's just a black and white image, or green and white in this case. We hit OK. And now we have 2 copies of our image. One of them is just that flat JPEG. We're going to get rid of that. And this one has no background. And if you go to your node editor, this is to edit the paths by nodes, you'll see all the little cut points. So this one you can actually cut with your Cricut or your Silhouette or whatever. So now we have that. We're going to make a circle. Let me make this black. I don't like the green. We're going to cut a circle out of this that we can put our monogram in. So I'm going to make a circle. If you hold the control button as you drag your circle out, it'll stay perfectly round. So there's our circle. Let's turn it a different color so that you can see what we're doing. And now we're going to put that where we want it. Maybe a little bit bigger. We're going to cut that out of there, okay? So now we take that, hold the shift button and click the anchor so we have both of them selected. You see the little boxes around both of them? And now we go to Object, Align and Distribute. This is going to make it so that they're perfectly centered left to right and it's not a little bit off to one side. We can center it vertically and it makes sure that it's perfect. So now we have them where we want them. We're going to cut this out of this. It's when you do a difference, so like a slice, the one on top gets cut out of the one on bottom. So make sure you have them in the right order or things will disappear and you won't know why. So make sure your red circle is on top. And then we go to Path, Difference. And it cuts it right out of it. So now we have this big missing space there in our anchor. So now what we want to do is make a circle, but we don't want, I guess you might want, but we're going to make another circle. And if you just want a solid circle, like you actually want it the same color as that, you can just match up these in size, weld them together, and be done. But I just want an outline of a circle because I'm going to put my monogram inside it. So we take our circle, we go to Path, Linked Offset. And what that does is make this little itty bitty diamond here. I'll scroll in a little bit. That diamond, whenever I'm making an offset shape, I make it a different color so that you can see the different shape. So I picked blue. You can't see it yet, but you'll see it in a second. When I drag this, you see that blue outline behind it? That's our second shape being created. So we're making this little outline shape. We're going to make it about that thick. But now we need both of these to actually be paths in order to slice one out of the other. This just has this little diamond. If we go to Path, Object to Path, now it has all of the little cut points, the nodes. Same thing with the inner one. Right now this is just a shape. I can still keep dragging this around. I want to do Path, Object to Path, so that it too has its little cut points. So now we have our two shapes. We're going to slice one out of the other. Just drag a box around them, and you'll see that both of them are selected. Path, difference. Now we just have our outline. Now we're going to take that circle, and we're going to put it in here. We're going to line these up again like we did earlier. And now this time, instead of difference, we want to make this all one piece. So we're going to go union. See? And now it combines them. So now we have, that is ready for our monogram. And then what we have to do is get one of our monograms. So let's take this one. And this, just like the anchor, needs to be, see if you try to look at nodes, there are none. This is a flat image right now. We have to trace this. So we're going to go to Path, trace bitmap again, still two colors, hit OK, and now see we have our hollow one and we have our flat one. We're going to get rid of that. So now we can take this, make it smaller. Don't forget to hold Control so that it stays round. We're going to stick it right inside there. See, isn't that pretty? Now we have our little anchor. If we want to move these around the screen without worrying about any pieces moving, you can group them. Hit Control G and it'll group them together so that they move together. You can just double click on it and ungroup them again. But, oops, grabbed the wrong piece there. Just for the sake of moving them around easier. Oops, I'm all kinds of screwed up here. Select that one, Control G. And now, that's our anchor one. So let's do another one. We'll do let's do clip art Minnie head. This is another really common one. So let's get a Minnie Mouse head. This is a little bit more complicated just because there's another color in it. So that'll be a good thing to show you. We'll copy that one and we'll paste it. And again, just like we did with the anchor, first thing we have to always do is trace it. And now you see, we need another color in here. So we're going to add a scan. Now we have it like we want it to look. So we hit OK. And again, we get rid of the one with the solid background. We don't need it. Let's make this a little smaller. So now this one, this is 2 layers. But it's not what you would think. It's not just a little pink bow and a big black head. It's 2 full layers. That is not what we want. You don't want to have to cut this much vinyl when you cut this. So what we're going to do is make one solid background and one little pink bow. So this one, being it happens to be the right shape, is going to be our solid background. We're going to turn that black. We need to just get rid of this little stuff at the bottom here. So we're going to zoom in a little. You can either double click or you can just click right on the node editor. They both do the same thing. They open up this where you see all the points. Just drag a box around those points. Make sure you don't hit any of the points on your Mickey head. And delete. And they're gone. Okay, so now we have our Mickey head. And now we need a bow. But this is hollow. There's nothing there. It's not white. It's hollow. So we need to make the bow. So click off of everything. You don't want anything selected when you do this. Hit your fill tool right here. Pick a color. We'll make it red. And then fill in those spaces. And now, if you go to your selector, it'll select the last one you filled. hold Shift, and select all of the pieces. And now again, we're going to union those. We want those to be one solid piece. So we're going to go Path, Union. And now we have a little red bow. We can get rid of that. We're going to put our red bow where it belongs, right about there. And now we need to make a circle cut. Whoops. Control Z, undo. We're going to make a little circle and cut it right out of there. So we go circle and just drag out a circle. Put it in there. It's clearly too big, so we're going to make that a little bit smaller. We'll make it about that big. We want this centered. We don't want it to be a little skewed. So we hold the Shift button and click on the black. We don't care about the Mickey ears. We care about the black part and the red part. So we're going to align those that way. So now they're nice and lined up. And now what we got to do is cut this out of this. The red bow is not part of the equation. Has nothing to do with it. That's just sitting there. Don't worry about that. Path, difference. See? And now we have our little red bow, and we have a nice hollow circle for our monogram. And this time, let's take the vine monogram. Again, we have to trace it. We only need 2 colors. Now, I can get rid of that one. And now let's make this red so that it matches our bow. Actually, I think I used this red. And now we're going to shrink this down. Not quite that small though. But like that. See, now we have our Minnie Mouse monogram. And again, if we want to group all of these, see, sometimes when you have too many shapes on the screen, if you try to click on one, you'll see all of a sudden it like clicks on. Now it's not going to do it. It'll see that it highlights a whole bunch of them for some reason. Don't know why it does that. Easiest way around that is to just go on the node editor, click your shapes, click the black one, hold Shift, click the red one, hold Shift, click the monogram. Now all 3 of them are selected. Now if you go to your selector, you're only selecting those. Control G to group it, and now we have our Mickey monogram. And then we'll do one more. We'll do one that's actually a little bit harder even. We're going to do a ball. Let's see what we have. I'm actually going to do this soccer ball because this one will be multicolor. Let's copy that, paste, make it a little bigger. Again, first thing we're going to do is trace it, as always. We only need 2 colors. It's a black and white ball. We have our hollow one and our solid one. Get rid of the solid one. So now, this one, this is hollow in the back. If you don't care, if you don't want it to have a white background, like the spots to be white, then that's fine. But if you do, we're going to have to make that white background. So here's what we're going to do. If you take this shape, make a copy of it, Control D for duplicate, you now have 2 of them. One of these is going to become the back layer, and one of them is going to become the front layer. Just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to make the back layer white. You can actually do it the other way, and that's a little bit more work. But we're going to make the back layer white. So what you do is Path, break apart. And this breaks all of these different shapes apart and makes them all solid. If we now go to Path Union, we have one solid circle. It's exactly the same shape as this. It doesn't matter if this happens to be round. It could have been any shape at all. If you do that, you'll have a duplicate background piece. So now we have that, and we have this. Let's turn this background a little bit different color so we can see it. It's actually already in the back. If it was not in the back, if it was sitting on top of this, let me show you quick. If this, when you make that second piece, if it was sitting on top and you need it underneath this one, you just go to Object, lower to bottom, and it's back there now. I'm going to drag a shape around them and align them horizontally and vertically so that they're perfectly on top of each other. I'm going to leave this back piece gray for a minute so that you can see what we're doing. At the end, we'll turn it white, but you can't see it once it's white. So, all right, so now we want a circle to cut out of this. So again, we do our circle. I don't really want it gray. You can't really see it when it's gray against the gray background. So now we have our gray, or rather our blue circle. We're going to cut this out of this. But if you haven't if it hasn't dawned on you yet, problem we're going to have is that we now have 2 layers that we have to cut this out of, the black one and the gray one. So we need 2 circles. We're going to do this and Control D. So now we have, we have 2 blue circles, a black piece, and what's going to be a white piece. We're going to cut this out of this, and cut this out of this. So let's just kind of put these all, let's stack them all perfectly. Ta-da! Okay, so now we have all 4 pieces. They're nice and stacked. Click off of them so that none of them are selected. Okay, so first we're going to take the blue one, and we're going to slice it out of the black one. We have the blue one. Just like before when we were selecting things, sometimes it's easier in the node editor. So we select the blue one, we're going to hold shift and select the black one. So now we have those 2 selected. We go to path, difference. Now it's not noticeable right away that this worked, but there you go. See, your black one has it cut out of it, and you still have this other blue one that we're going to now cut out of the gray one. We're going to stack these all up again. You could stack them later if it's a perfectly round shape that's this easy to stack. You don't have to do them on top of each other, but when you can't do it that way, you're better off leaving them all stacked and cut them as you go. So now we're going to do the blue. Hold shift and pick the gray. And again, path difference. So now we have all 3 pieces, and this is now hollow for our monogram. So now let's make this white, this back piece here. We don't want this piece, we don't want this, we want this gray piece. I'm going to turn that white. And now we're going to let's do this one again. Make a copy of that with Control D, and we can stick that right in here. And maybe even make that a little bigger. And we can center those again. And maybe make this monogram black to match the ball. And now you have your monogram in a soccer ball. So hopefully you can see. I could keep doing these, but I don't want to take up all your day here. Hopefully you can see that this is really not hard to do. And before you buy more of these files on Etsy, I would encourage you to just try making it yourself. If you have any questions about them, feel free to leave me a message on my video. You can subscribe to me as well, and then get any new videos I make. You'll see them right away. But here are a few monograms for you. I hope you enjoyed this, and have a great day.